Normal Redditors that dated a celebrity, what was it like? Please consider subscribing if you enjoy the video. My uncle hooked me up to see Foreigner in 1981, including 2 Backstage passes. I took a girl I really liked, but she ended up meeting Mick Jones and disappearing with him into a dressing room. I didn't see her again that night. So I guess you could say I got fricked by Mick Jones. I feel that pain. Had a similar experience with a girl, but I would have felt better if it was someone famous, lol. Not me, but my aunt dated Matthew McConaughey before he was famous. He ended up getting invited to her wedding to my normal uncle, and proceeded to pass out drunk in the back of my family's car. He refused to leave, and now my dad refuses to watch his movies. He said in an interview that he kind of cleaned up his act in an effort to make it. I guess it worked. Alright. My aunt went on a date with Jimmy Buffett. She said he picked her up, stopped at a gas station, bought a jar of pickles and then drove to the beach. They ate pickles and he took her home. Little did she know he went on many dates like this, slowly eating each of the components of a cheeseburger on each subsequent date. All you can eat burger ingredients. A burger buffet if you will. My friends and went on a blind date with Gerard Butler, circa 300, the movie, not the year. There was a big miscommunication, because he was looking for a hookup and she's a kindly French Canadian woman in her 50s, but they both had a laugh about it and enjoyed supper with each other. She said he was very kind, and very muscular. Probably too late for this, but about 15 years ago, when the show The Simple Life, with Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie was popular, I made out with Paris Hilton at a nightclub in Baltimore. Essentially, they were filming them doing all sorts of random jobs around the country and staying with local families, all for the culture clash laughs. One of those families ended up being my friend and her family. Being a close friend, and a well-known admirer of Paris at the time, I was invited over and got to hang with her and Nicole Richie a good amount while they were in town. Both of them were super sweet, and a lot smarter than they played for the camera. Paris was a great kisser and this story is always a hit with my friends. A few months later, her phone was hacked and nudes were leaked. My number was in her phone book and I got spammed with prank calls from 4chan, or something. I imagine it was a lot worse for anyone who was actually famous. Anyhow, basically lost total contact after that. But still a fun story. I don't think it's too late for the two of you. But I'm the same age as her. You gotta hurry, we're all nearing 40. John Krasinski liked my Venmo donation to his charity, so it's basically like we're dating. Damn, it's getting serious. Are you gonna move in together? My mum lived in Key West in the early mid-80s. She dated Sting for a while. He had a really nice yacht and they went on a sailing trip, during which he realized my mum is psycho. She is. He ended it right after. Sometimes to frick with my dad I'll start singing Roxanne or Message in a Bottle. I always imagined Sting had a nice yacht. Sting had the nice yacht. Mum had the nice yacht. Damn, I'm so late and I know this will get buried, but when my mom's aunt died they were going through her stuff and found a picture of her sitting on JFK's lap. No one knew anything about it. JFK almost definitely slept with your mom's aunt. He boned nearly every White House intern he had. So either way, she could put on her resume sat on the presidential staff. A family friend's mum went clubbing with Lady Gaga. Afterwards, Gaga asked if she knew who she was. Friend's mum had no idea. This is my favorite one so far. It's endearing to think of someone hanging out with Lady Gaga and having zero clue who she is. How did she end up clubbing with Lady Gaga? Was this a long time ago? Were they not being mobbed by people? Just trying to imagine the circumstances that led to this, and can't. Reminds me of my best friend's dad. He was volunteering at a local festival, concert many years ago, and in search of a bathroom he wandered into the backstage area. At that time, Velvet Revolver was a thing, and they were the show's headliners. So my friend's dad ends up back there and the band is slowly getting ready for when it's time for their set. Friend's dad asks / where the bathroom is and / points it out. Friend's dad takes a piss, then comes back and smokes a cigarette while making small talk with / then heads back. Had no idea who he was hanging out with. Celebrities probably enjoy having a conversation with someone who has no idea who they are and treats them like a normal person. You don't have to be a celebrity to enjoy having a conversation with someone who has no idea who you are and treats you like a normal person. That sounds pretty frickin' awesome. Oh god, I'm so lonely. My mum had a dinner date with George Clooney in the 90s. She didn't really say much apart from the fact that he's an interesting and charismatic guy, but she honestly didn't think he was going to blow up. My best friend's mum worked with him years ago, their early 20s or college age-ish. He was a shoe salesman, she was security. Said he talked about wanting to act and get famous and everyone doubted him, but he was always nice to everyone and a likable guy. Said he always talked about wanting to act and get famous and everyone doubted him, but he was always nice to everyone and a likable guy. My wife and I took ballroom dancing lessons many years ago. The teachers, a married couple, said that in the 80s late 70s, they lived next door, or possibly a couple doors down, from Keanu Reeves, who was just a young boy at the time. Said he came over often to play with their son and often ate at their place. The lady said that he always said he was going to get into acting and become famous, and they would say, "Oh, okay, that's nice dear. LOL. This thread has taught me that as an aunt I really need to up my dating game so my nibblings will have better stories. That little monster kid from the first Mad Max lived next door to us as kids and constantly chased my sister around trying to kiss her. I really freaking hope this is true. Of course it's not true. The kid was feral. They found him in the outback and just decided to roll with it. Like Marlon Brando's cat in The Godfather. My aunt kissed Gordon Lightfoot in a bathroom at one of his concerts. I'm guessing there was probably more, but she didn't elaborate. She probably went down like the Edmund Fitzgerald. She took a load, but it sure wasn't an ore. There was a bone to be chewed. The gales of November came early, but Gord didn't. Back when they were still a small bar band, my mother had drinks with a cult. The lead singer had told her he was in a band, but she didn't believe him. So when they played Wildflower that night, he dedicated the song to her. Dude, that's awesome. I love the cult. Yes, all glory to the cult. The leader calls us to our reward. One of my dad's close friends is Jim Carrey's first wife. Apparently he turned into kind of a dong when he got famous. Shock 8NG. I know. I remember a decade or so ago when their grown kids band was trying to make a living with their music. She really want Jim to help them get bookings and stuff and he was all they need to make it on their own. Then he got a new girlfriend who told him to help his kid out and he did. First wife is still salty about that. I thought it was kind of a not so well kept industry secret that Carey was a huge dong, doubly so after Katrina White committed suicide. Not a date, per se, but I had a nice quiet dinner with Samantha Fox in her hotel room in Toronto in the 80s. She was in town for a show and I was attached to her security detail. She asked me to eat with her because she didn't want to go out, but hated eating alone. Sweet girl, kinda sad too. Lonely. Whoa, she seemed like the sexiest women alive to me when I was young in the 80s. Same here. First boobs I saw, circa 1987. Angry mother noises. Friend of mine dated Brad Pitt in college. 2 or 3 dates if I remember correctly. I went to a different school, but remember meeting him when I went to visit my friend. One of my friend's dad's friends is a plumber and got called to do a job for Doug Pitt, Brad's brother. Well, Brad just happened to be visiting when plumber guy showed up. Plumber guy introduced himself to Doug, who is kind of a hometown celebrity, philanthropist, etc. Then looked at Brad and jokingly said, "Ah, you must be Doug's brother." Brad didn't find that too funny. I love this. My mum was really good friends with Andre the Giant Andre Rene Roussimoff because he used to frequent her place of work. According to her, he was the sweetest, most gentle man she ever met in her life. She misses him. I miss him, and I never met him. After hearing some stories, I honestly just want to give him a hug. As best I could. Anyway, LOL. Damn, no one talking about Hillary Clinton thing, that's freaking hilarious. R. Kelly asked me out on a date in the mid-90s. I declined, because I had a boyfriend at the time. Besides, I was too old for him lol. You dodged a bullet there. Oh. I mean, stream. So you were, what, 18 years old? I was actually 21 and working retail at the Beverly Center. Back then it was a pretty popular shopping center for celebrities and musicians. My uncle is a ski instructor in Northern California and had a coffee date with Pink. And then, he prefers his coffee black. He said they fricked, but even I don't believe that. He worked at Mammoth Lakes Ski Resort, so they would get lots of high profile names, celebs coming through. He has pictures with Shaun White and says he's actually a really cool guy that will give you the time of day. I don't really care about Pink. How was the ex with Shaun White? Pink here. It's true Dong was great, 9 out of 10 would have casual ex with again.